Hi everyone, my name is Edgar Septien, and this is my evidence number 2 related to the Elgin marbles. First of all, I gotta start out with the reason why I chose this topic. Fortunately, I've been a person who has had the opportunity to travel around the world, and this is when my mind related this evidence to the fact that the ancient Greek culture is one of the most important one of the most important cultures in history. The Elgin marbles are a set of sculptures that were made around the 5th century in Athens, Greece, and it wasn't until the beginning of the 19th century where the British ambassador of the Ottoman Empire, Lord Elgin, requested to take this set of sculptures all the way to Britain. And indeed, this request was authorized, and Lord Elgin was able to take this whole set of sculptures all the way to Britain, specifically to the British Museum, where they still remain until today. So what gave rise to the conflict until today? It was until 1983 when the first proposal to return the collection to Greece was made by the Greek government. But since then, there have been a lot of constant discussions, a lot of conflicts, a lot of constant talks between the British Museum and the Acropolis Museum, and between the British government and the Greek government. From on one side, we have the British Museum position where they say that they are pretty comfortable with the current situation that they have right now, since they declare that their whole exhibition in the museum, it's they have the intention of being a multicultural exhibition, and this set of sculptures in the museum helps them to explain to tourists in a better way how the Greek culture was in its days. But on the other hand, we have the Acropolis Museum position where they say that these set of sculptures were illegally taken away from their country and that they belong to Greece and to the Greek people. So that's the main reason why they want these set of sculptures back to their country. Does this situation have any effect on cultural identity? On one side, we could say that these set of sculptures are not only pieces of fine marble made into wonderful pieces of art. These set of sculptures represent way more than that. These sculptures represent history, stories, time, and many situations that made what the Greek culture is today. So that's why the Greek population have that feeling of belonging to these sculptures, and the fact that they were taken away from them, this fact gives them a sense of loss to the Greek population. So is it really enough to just bring those sculptures back to Greece, or is there any other way that we could give a solution to it? Well, we could say that bringing these sculptures back to its original country could help, but the Greek people and the Acropolis Museum will always know that they will always have present the fact that the British nation once in history stole a pretty important part of their history, of their culture, and that they were stolen once in history by the British government. So what do heritage protection agencies what's their role in these kind of situations? Well, they are in charge of maintaining, protecting, and preserving architectural sites from a certain culture, and they do so through investigation procedures, legal regulations, physical preservation, and educational programs to people in general. So does cultural appropriation have anything to do with these kind of situations where where a foreign country takes away an important artwork from another culture? Well, yes, this could happen if this action was made with a lack of appreciation to that original country where that artwork belongs to. The cultural appropriation comes into place if there's mockery, if there are stereotypes towards that original culture, and if false interpretations are made towards that specific culture and traditions. Finally, is there really a possible solution for this situation? Is there really anything that we could do about it? Well, probably a pretty reasonable solution for this situation could be a shared ownership of the sculptures, where for a certain period of time, either the British Museum or the Acropolis Museum has the property or the ownership of these sculptures, or maybe just a part of the sculptures, and then give it back to the other museum, and vice versa. Maybe this is one of the most reasonable solutions for this situation. And finally, these are the references used for this project. Thank you very much.